Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Show, where we talk about all components of business and how to utilize them for exponential growth. My name is Athin Cassiotis. I'm a business growth strategist where I help business owners grow, scale, cut costs, and increase profit. And today, I have an awesome guest. He's an award-winning business coach, author of 19 best-selling books, international speaker, business growth and technology entrepreneur. He started his first business at the age of 19 and has been building companies ever since. One of those companies is now a multi-million-dollar enterprise, which has enabled him to become an avid investor, charity supporter, and travel with his wife, Katherine, and two sons to more than 85 different countries. Welcome, Dale Beaumont, and thank you for being on my show.
Yeah, thanks so much. Good to chat.
Yeah, awesome, mate. I'm sure it's going to be awesome and amazing. There's so much value for everyone watching and listening today. So you're a very successful entrepreneur. So first, do you want to maybe just share a little bit about yourself and your journey?
Sure. So grew up in Sydney, had a lot of energy as a kid. And so my mum put me into the sport of gymnastics. Started at the age of 6, and by the age of 11 was training 36 hours a week in the gym on top of going to school. So I learned a lot of lessons from my sporting career: hard work, discipline, delayed gratification. But the most important thing I learned was the value of having a coach. And so that just kind of stuck with me. And so when I finished my sporting career at the age of 18, the next thing that occurred to me was I need to find coaches for the next phase of my life. And that kind of led me to meeting people like Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Bob Proctor, Brandon Bays, and a whole bunch of other kind of like personal development and mindset kind of gurus. And so I started attending all their courses and workshops, and that's what inspired me to start my first business when I was also 19 years of age. And basically I've been an entrepreneur ever since. So that was 21 years ago. Today we have 7 different companies that collectively do around $10 million a year in revenue, built up a substantial property portfolio, and love to travel. So I've been married now for nearly 18 years this year. So quite some time. I've got 2 boys, 14-year-old, 11, and yeah, we love to travel. So as you mentioned, I've been to about 85 countries now, and we're hoping to get to 100 within the next 2 years. So yeah, that's a little bit about my kind of journey. A couple of highlights, written a bunch of books along the way, 19 books and counting. And yeah, I've coached now more than 2,500 businesses in the last 15 years. So it's been an amazing journey, and I just love helping people. My mission is to help as many people as possible to build the business of their dreams. So I'm looking forward to chatting about how we can help more people to do that.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Amazing story. And I love how you got in early and made things happen even from a young age. And yeah, it's all, momentum effect and everything of where it's taken you now. And I'm sure it'll continue to grow over time. And yeah, definitely looking forward to hearing about all these countries as well. I'm looking forward to getting to a few more, mate. So that's awesome too. So let's start a little bit more from the start, right? Initially, because some people might be an entrepreneur that's at an early stage in their business. Either it could be by themselves or maybe they just got a very small team. What do you think are maybe some key foundations that they need to be aware of and implement to make sure that they have a strong foundation in their business as well?
Sure. It depends on, how far we want to kind of like go back in terms of like absolute starting point, or whether they've kind of already started it. But at the end of the day, first of all, you've got to make sure that your business, your product or service is going to fill the need in the market. The worst mistake that any entrepreneur can make is building something or creating something that no one wants. So you have to make sure that there's a need, there's a market for what it is that you are selling. So you need to have a product or service. You need to have a market that wants that product or service as well. And you also need to have some type of point of difference, something that makes your business unique, because chances are, if you're going into a market, there is other people out there that are doing something perhaps similar, and there should be. Competition is actually a good thing. It proves that there's actually demand for the product or service that you're offering. When people sort of say, I'm going into a business, and I'm the first person to create this idea, it's a completely new idea, I get actually a little bit scared, because it means that if a market doesn't exist, there's no demand. And if you're going to be trying to launch a new product or service where there is no demand already, that's really, really hard. So competition is actually a good thing. It means that there's already a demand for what you've offering, but now you just have to be different in some way to everyone else. So you have to have some type of point of difference. And there's different ways to kind of like niche, and we can kind of get into that later on. But then once you obviously have got a product or service that people want, and then you need to, how do I generate leads? So that's kind of one of the problems that you've got to solve in business. And then once you generate enough leads, it's like then the next problem is, how do I convert those leads into customers? We'll call that sales. So then you have to learn about how to sell. And then once you've then, sold something, you've basically made a promise. Now you have to fulfill that promise. You have to deliver the value of your product or service. So then that comes down to your delivery and customer service and your operations, and making sure that you're able to to then manage the doing part of your business successfully. And if you get really good at marketing and sales, and you're now at the point whereby you probably can't do everything on your own, so you need to start building systems, growing your team. So we could talk about that as well. And then once you start hiring staff, you then become a manager and a leader. So that's a whole other conversation. You've also got finance to kind of worry about, making sure you're getting paid for the work that you're doing, understanding what a profit and loss is, what a balance sheet is, cash flow statement, to make sure that you're actually making money and profitable. These days you have to have a website, so that's another thing that you're going to need, probably a social media presence as well. And then using some type of technology to run your business, like a good CRM system, some type of project or task management software as well would be important. A place to store all of your intellectual property and systems and procedures, how you do what you do, and then some type of management structure to make sure that all of your business kind of runs smoothly. So they're just some of the ingredients that it takes to grow a successful business. As an entrepreneur, you're probably wearing at least 5, if not 10 hats, and your success is going to come down to making sure that you have a good level of skills in each of those areas if you're going to be successful.
Yeah, love it, mate. Very awesome broad topic there, but specific about what everyone needs. And really touched on all those key points. I love it. So let's delve into a little bit more detail now and talk about marketing. Because I think marketing is really the first main step, right? Is to be able to attract, the right leads to us initially. And, we can do a marketing plan and things like that. So how are we actually going to, attract these quality leads, right, into our business as well? So do you want to maybe go a little bit deeper into marketing and what should we be including in this plan, and, how to get those people coming to us?
Yeah, sure. And I think that everyone should have a marketing plan. And marketing plans can be really kind of scary and intimidating and take a long time. So I developed like a process called the 90-minute marketing plan, where anyone can put together a marketing plan for their business in about 90 minutes, and actually give people a template, which is 5 pages that they can fill out. And once they have the template and the training, they can go through it in about 90 minutes. I'm happy to offer that to anyone for free, actually. That's part of this particular watching this podcast now, or watching this particular video. You can go to our website, businessblueprint.com/training, and you'll be able to see a link for the 90-minute marketing plan workshop. So when you go through that workshop, there's a few different components to it. Clearly, a big part of marketing is actually knowing who you are marketing to. We could call that your target market, your perfect prospect. Sometimes in marketing, we call this your kind of avatar. And you need to really understand who this person or who this group of people are. And there's different ways to then work that out. There's the demographics, something like maybe their gender, their age, their location, their profession, their income levels, their hobbies, where they hang out, what types of groups do they belong to, etc. That's all the kind of stuff that is very tangible, things that you can actually measure. So that's all the demographics. And then there's the psychographics. And psychographics is the stuff like what's going on inside their head. What are they feeling? And they're things like what are their wants, what are their problems, what are their fears, what are their aspirations. And it's really understanding the mindset and psychology, because marketing is all about making sure that we're able to enter the conversation that they're already having inside their mind. They need to feel that we truly understand who they are and their goals, their desires, their fears and frustrations. It's only when they feel understood will then they be then attracted to what you have to offer. So we get into all of the psychology, the demographics and psychographics, and then from there we can start putting together some marketing material, and that could be in the form of words or videos or kind of images that really speak specifically to the people that we want to attract. And then from there, we'll then create something called a lead magnet, which is a free resource that we're going to offer people that may be interested in your product or service. And then from there, we'll need some way of capturing those leads, putting them normally into some type of a CRM system. Then we also need some way of converting them into customers. And then we also would need to, once we've got that in place, we're able to attract a lead, convert a lead, and then obviously support that lead through your delivery journey. Then it's all about scalability, right? If you can put like 5 people through a system, you can put 50 people through, you can put 500 people through, you can put 5,000 people through. So then it just becomes a scaling issue. So then how are you going to then generate enough traffic to your offer? And there's probably more than 30 or 40 different ways that you can generate leads these days. So it's a matter of finding out what are the 3 or 4 best channels for you, and then basically focusing on those channels to then drive that traffic to your website, and then you have your sort of automated system that then collects the leads, nurtures those leads, converts those leads, and then turns them into to customers as well. That's a very high level kind of overview with regards to marketing. But if people go through that workshop, the 90-minute marketing plan, they can have basically a marketing plan for their business in just 90 minutes. So it's a really good place to start in order to develop your marketing approach.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love that. All those key areas, which are so important. And, one thing I'm seeing now in marketing a lot now is about touch points, right? Is that we're needing a lot of touch points to be able to, allow our, prospects or clients to then, know, like, and trust us. It's becoming more and more these days. So, when we get them and we're nurturing those leads, like you were talking about, a lot may drop off initially, right? Because they don't have that initially. So we may have these people in our database, I guess, that may not buy straight away, but they're still there. They're still interested in what we're doing. So do you want to maybe talk a little bit about, okay, well, how do we sort of capture these people and how do we sort of continue to nurture them, or bring them from being cold, out in the cold type of thing, to being more warmer and interested again, and to working with us at the same time, so we can really maximize, I guess, all of those people we have in our database, in our system as well.
Yeah, sure. And just to give people some sort of terminology that we can all agree on. So first of all, we have to define so who is the target market that we want to go after. Then we have to attract those people. It's the whole attraction kind of like piece. And then from there, we have to capture. So that's one of the big points that I want to stress, that the number one goal of your marketing is to really capture leads, because they say that 2% of people will ever buy on first exposure. The majority of people will need to, see and hear from you at least 5, 6, 7, 10 times. So we want to have, like you're saying, as many touch points as we can, but to deliver those touch points, we need to capture. So we need some way of capturing leads. So to do that, we normally have a lead magnet. That could be a free ebook, a free checklist, some type of template, or it could be a buyer's guide, or it could be a quiz or a report. There's more than a dozen different types of lead magnets that you can create. And so if we had more time together, I could kind of go through more examples, but that's kind of enough to get you kind of thinking. You create a lead magnet, which is some resource that you offer. If you have a look, for example, at businessblueprint.com, you could see one of our lead magnets is the ultimate marketing checklist. So that's a checklist that we've put together. It's like got over 100 points there to improve your marketing. That's an example of a lead magnet. So your number one goal of your marketing is to capture leads, because if they leave, they probably will never come back. So you've got to make sure that you're capturing leads. Then from there, it's all about convert. So once we then define, once we attract, once we capture, then we need to convert. Now, what we want to do is we want to try and use tools that can do some of the, or perhaps all of the selling for us, rather than you having to pick up the phone and talk to every single person and take them from knowing, kind of like nothing to buying. That's going to take you a long time. What we want to use is we want to use scalable tools such as email autoresponders or videos, SMS, maybe a direct mail piece, Magalog. There's different types of things that you can do to then help people to understand who you are, what problem you solve, what are the benefits in working with you, what's your backstory, like how did you even get into this? People are oftentimes curious, not just what the product or service is, but who are they buying from these days. So people have to get to know you as well and the person that's delivering this product or service. And then they also need to understand, like if they've got fears or concerns or objections, you should know what they are and be addressing all of those as well. And then help them to like, how do I get started? How do I take the next step? How do we buy? So you take people kind of on a journey to get them to, like you said, if you want to simplify it, know you, like you, and trust you, so that they can buy from you. And that would be an automated follow-up series. Normally we recommend somewhere between 7 to 10 touch points or emails over a period of say 30 days. That would be kind of like the minimum. Some people want to go further, 60 or 90 days, and you can certainly do that. Or some people go a bit sort of like shorter. It just depends on what it is that they're selling. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to wait 30 days before you sell to someone. Sometimes people make up their mind within a day, 2 days, 3 days. That's fine. But the majority of people will probably need to be observing you for maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before they're then ready to buy your product or service. Now, if your price point is less than $500 or $1,000, it's quite possible for you to acquire a lead, nurture that lead through emails and videos, and then someone's basically goes, like, I need this product or service, I trust this person, I understand the benefits to me, I want to buy. They click on a link, they go straight to an order page, they put in their credit card details, and they buy your product or service without ever having to talk to you. You can almost automate the entire sales and marketing process. However, if your price point is higher, like maybe selling a $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 product or service, then people will most likely book an appointment to have a chat with you, to talk to a human, and to get their final questions kind of like answered before then basically being in a position to buy. But we use the autoresponders, the nurture sequence that we create to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. So by the time we do have a sales call, in terms of readiness to buy, you want to make sure that your time is spent with people that are already a 7, 8, 9, or a 10 in terms of level of interest. You don't want to be spending all of your time with people that are at 1, 2, or a 3, because all that means is that you're just having to spend a lot of time with people that just aren't that interested in what you have to sell. So that's just a simplified kind of like way of trying to help you to make more sales by having less sales conversations. You're using tools and using technology like a good CRM system and emails and videos now and good copy to do a lot of the selling for you.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love that deep dive and different ways of how we can do it. I'm sure there's a huge amounts of value there for everyone. Let's talk a little bit more about the system side of things, right? Because you're mentioning a few of these, and I think it's a great one because, we can't do everything ourselves, and, we could hire 100 people in the business, but why do we need to hire all these people if we can get systems to do it for us? So you mentioned a few key ones. Maybe mention them specifically, and maybe even some examples of some things of what we can do so that we can really get our business into like a well-oiled machine, so to speak, as well.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so every business probably needs at least 3 kind of like core tools to run their business. So every business needs a good CRM. That stands for customer relationship management. It's a tool where you're going to put in all of the information about all of your prospects, your leads, your customers, your past customers, all the details around what people buy, what their needs are. So a good CRM system. There's different ones out there like Ontraport, ActiveCampaign, Klaviyo if you're an e-commerce business, Copper is another good one if you're B2B. So there's different ones that are out there. Then from there, every business needs some place or location where they store all of their systems, all of their knowledge, all of their policies and procedures. So that could be something like Google Sites or SharePoint or Trainual or Teamwork Spaces, Way We Do, Systems Hub. There's lots of different tools out there for that particular application. And then every business will need some type of task management, job management, project management software for managing all of the individual tasks and to-dos for you and also anyone that works for you as well. So you have one central location where all of the tasks and recurring tasks go. So for that, you could use something like teamwork.com, you could use Asana, you could use Trello, you could use Basecamp. There's different tools that are kind of out there, but every business will need those three. So CRM, place to store your systems, and a place to manage all of the tasks and to-dos within your business. Then there are other smaller, sort of systems that are out there that you also need, but they're the kind of three that I think are the most important for every business.
Yeah, love it, mate. Thanks for delving into that and giving some great examples for everyone to look further into. And I think the interesting one, especially as we're growing in the business, is obviously we need people to help us, right? We need to hire people. Now, there's a difference between hiring them, like as an employee within our business, versus like outsourcing, and getting contractors or other ways like that for certain functions and tasks. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about the differences there, and maybe what some key things that we could be outsourcing that we don't necessarily have to hire within our business as well?
Yeah, sure. So basically, just to start at the beginning, if you one of my mentors, a guy called John Maxwell, said, if you can climb a mountain on your own, it's not a very big mountain. And what that means is if you want to build a small business, you can build a very small business on your own, but you can't build a great business, can't build a big business, on your own. You need to have a team. You need to have help. If you're doing everything, most people will basically max out their income at about $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. And after they pay all their bills and expenses and all their costs, they're probably not making more than maybe $80,000 to $100,000 a year. So if you want to go on to make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars every single year, then the only way to do that is through a team. So basically, you need help. You need to get some help, and ideally as soon as possible. Now, the first person that everyone should hire is a virtual assistant. You can hire a virtual assistant for $6, $7, $8 an hour, and they can be doing a whole bunch of things that right now you're doing, but it's just not the best use of your time. Now, I've got a checklist that I'm happy to actually give you this checklist if you want to share it with anyone that's listening. I'm happy to give it to you. You can maybe put it in the show notes or something like that. I've got a checklist now of 160 different tasks that you can add our virtual assistant. So you can go through that list and you can tick off all the ones that you want to start to let go of. Most people will find at least 30, if not 40 or 50 different things that they can start outsourcing immediately. That will then help you to buy back your time. And then once you've got more time, then you can invest that into other more important activities like growing your business. Then from there, it depends on the type of business you have to where you go to next. If you have, like, for example, a local business, whether you are, a hairdresser or you're running a landscaping business, then you're going to need to hire local people to do those jobs. And maybe a couple of people in, say, the Philippines, virtual people, to be doing a lot of your admin or maybe finance or helping you with your website, your SEO, all that type of stuff. But then if you've got a business that's perhaps a web design firm or a consulting firm, if you don't have to see your clients face to face, if you don't have to work from a fixed location, you can run your business from home, for example, then you can actually have more of your team in the Philippines, and you might have then grow a team of 3, 5, or 10 people in the Philippines, and they do some of your core functions. And then you still can hire local people if you want to as well, but it just depends on the type of business that you have to where your team is. I believe everyone should have a combination of both local staff in your city or office, and then have virtual staff as well. But the percentage breakdown, whether it's 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 90-10, will come down to the type of business that you have. But yes, you definitely want help, and you want to be using the power of virtual assistants to help you to get more stuff done faster.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love that. And love the breakdown of different things of what we can do, and getting them all involved as well. And what we've talked a bit about before as well is knowing our numbers, right? It's very important, crucial in our business. From the finance perspective, you mentioned, the profit and loss, the balance sheets, the cash flow statements. But alongside that as well as, I guess, the KPIs, right? Like, what are the numbers that we need to be looking at, and what numbers do we need to be hitting in our business so that we hit our, revenue and profit goals, and things like that as well. So do you want to maybe talk a little bit about these things and what should we be focusing on, measuring so that we, be able to grow our business?
Yeah, sure. Well, the easiest thing to kind of measure at the beginning is just your top line revenue, just making sure that you're bringing in, as much kind of like money as you can. But then you also want to, depending on what type of business you have, you need to kind of know what your, break even point is, because every business is going to have sort of like expenses. And so you want to make sure that you know what your break even point is, and also to have some type of goal with regards to profitability as well, because you don't want to be just working really, really hard, making a lot of money, but then spending it all as well. So you can talk to your accountant, and they can kind of help you to. They should be giving you financial reports on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Get a good bookkeeper. That's really important. You shouldn't be doing your bookkeeping yourself. There's a company that I use called financialfanatics.com. So you can, if you want a good bookkeeper, you can check them out. They'll basically help you with your bookkeeping. So you've got up-to-date records, so you can really run your business better, knowing that you're actually profitable and making money. And then you also would need to have a good accountant as well. And then depending on the type of business that you have, there are other KPIs that you might like to measure. How many people come to your website? What's your, how many kind of leads are you getting? What is a lead? And doing a bit of a definition around that. Then what's your average dollar sale? What's your conversion rate from lead to sale? What's your lifetime value of a customer, for example? What's your retention or churn rate? So all of these things are things that you will start to add and measure in time. And I'd recommend probably, everyone at some point, has a business coach. You should be working with a business coach and a good accountant and a good bookkeeper as well to be helping you with learning all of these things as well. Because there's two ways to do anything in life. One is to do it on your own. That's just going to take you probably 10, 20, 30 years to get to where you want to go. But if you've got a good coach, someone that's been there and done what you want to do, they could show you how to achieve your goals, 10 times, 20 times faster. So that's probably my biggest secret to success is get a good coach, invest in yourself, invest in your education, and be around people that are where you want to be.
Yeah, love it, mate. So true. Definitely completely agree with all of that as well. And, I guess, and now a big thing that's happening now is events, right? Now, during COVID, there's a lot of, virtual events that were happening, because we couldn't really see anybody. And now it's opening back up. And I know you're doing some, in-person events now. And obviously there's hybrid events that we can be doing as well, where it's in person, but, on Zoom or similar as well. So do you want to maybe just share a little bit about, from your experience, about what you found, I guess, the differences between them and maybe what you're preferring and why as well, to allow us to then, be able to reach more people and help more people as well in our businesses?
Yeah, sure. So certainly, I think any business, can running events, even if they're for like clients or for if you're running a retail business as well, put on an event, get kind of prospects or clients together. You might even want to have like a closed door event for just your, top kind of like clients, but people want to connect, and people want a reason to kind of like come together and be part of something. So we run lots of events where we connect with business owners all over Australia and New Zealand, but it's a strategy that anyone can really use in their business. However, as a result of COVID, there are more and more people running online events, and so I think online events are great as well. So you don't have to physically be in the same room anymore. You can just click a button, you can be on Zoom, and you could be meeting up with a group of clients or prospects in a virtual environment. So we run both. We run in-person events and we run online events as well. And it's a strategy that I now sort of teach my clients as well about how they could leverage the power of events in order to grow their business.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Thanks for sharing. And good to do a bit of both, and good to be in the room with people again. I'm sure everyone will agree, which is nice to connect as humans. And probably just on top of that is about speaking, right? I think speaking is a skill that, we almost master to be an effective communicator, as well as, connecting with more people. So, I guess if we're doing an events, we want to be doing better with speaking. Obviously, the more we do it, the better we get as well. But what tips could you maybe give us, to be better speakers, being a seasoned speaker yourself?
Yeah, cool. So this is a big topic. I could talk about this. I've done like a 90-minute workshop before about how to how to become a great public speaker. Look, I think part of it is just being passionate about what it is that you do. I think when you're passionate about what you do, it's makes things so much easier. But then it's also about knowing your stuff, and I'm sure that everyone here is an expert kind of at what they do and has a lot of knowledge about their product or service. And then it's really about not focusing on you, focusing really on them. You're here to serve other people. And I think that, as a speaker, oftentimes people feel so self-conscious about what are other people going to think of me. They're not thinking of you. They're thinking of themselves and their issue and their lives and their problems and their challenges. And so when you're on stage, you should not be focusing on you're thinking about them. How can I help? How can I serve? How can I save them time? How can I save them money? How can I help them fix their problems, get to where they want to go faster? So it's really should be less about, I've done this and I've done this and I've done that, to, basically talking about their issues and their problems and their situation, and being there to serve them. And then it's really just about being more of kind of like, who you are, and coming up with your own sort of like signature style that works for you. Some people are more energetic and are going to move their hands around a lot and, kind of like get people involved. And other people are going to be, more quiet and more conservative. And that's fine too. I think the best thing is to just be more of who you are. Don't try to be someone else, because it will just come across as weird, and people will just feel uncomfortable, because people know when someone's being their real self, and when someone else is kind of like faking it. You just can kind of like tell. So I would just sort of recommend that people be more of who they are, and just put the focus on the audience and focus on, I'm here to help, I'm here to serve. And that's probably enough with the 2 minutes of time that I've got to answer this very big question.
Yeah, awesome, mate. No, thank you for that. I think those little few tips, especially focusing on them, I think is a big one, like you said, right? To get people, just even those little mindset shifts can be a big difference in how we're delivering our speaking. And yeah, so much value here today, Dale, in the short time that we've had with you. Love it all. And I guess as we're wrapping up today, what one key piece of advice would you give to all of the entrepreneurs watching and listening today?
Yeah, like a lot of people have asked me, what's the secret to your success, or what are your biggest tips? For me, it comes down to three things. Number one, you've got to be prepared to invest in yourself and your education. Number two, you need to have a coach or a mentor to help and guide you. And number three, you need to be conscious of your environment. The people you surround yourself with will play a critical role in your success. So they're my three kind of biggest tips. I think if you get those three things right, you invest in yourself, you get a good coach, and you're around people that'll lift you up, then everything else will start to fall into place.
Yeah, love it, mate. So true. Very, very powerful stuff there. Completely agree. And yeah, we connected through our network, where I learned about your awesome journey from starting your first business at 19 to writing 19 best-selling books to then, now recently launching Business Blueprint. You're an awesome guy, and I'm sure you continue to help businesses grow. And I'm very grateful that we connected, and I look forward to working with you in the future. So Dale, how can people find you, get in contact with you?
Yeah, sure. Best thing would just be to go to my website. It's businessblueprint.com. businessblueprint.com. There you can subscribe if you want to get our free marketing checklist, which is a really awesome document. It actually comes with a video as well about how to complete the checklist, which is pretty cool. And then from there, you can find out information about some free online workshops that we do, so you can attend them anywhere, anytime. So you'll get the emails about it, but otherwise you can go to businessblueprint.com/training, and you'll be able to find different events that we run, like how to find and hire a virtual assistant. There's one about how to build systems. There's one about the 90-minute marketing plan as well. There's another one called 52 Ways to Grow Your Business. So there's heaps of free training that you can attend that will really help you. So you can go to the website or follow me on social medias. I'm pretty easy to find. Just Google me, as they say.
Yeah, awesome, guys. Definitely check out Dale and amazing resources that he's doing. And thank you to everyone for watching and listening to this show, where we talk about everything on business growth. Please like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. And you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube as Athin Cassiotis, or visit my website, athincassiotis.com. And if you want to grow, scale, cut costs, and increase profit in your business, you can reach out to me on any platform to see if we're a good fit. And I completely agree with you, or do I? The only way you know is if you tune in next time. So until next time, remember that our business grows when we learn skills and take action using them in spite of fear. So remember to design your growth and results.